Yeah, it's time to open another 100 collector's reserves in Marvel Snap. See how many credits we get. See how many collector's tokens we get out of all these various caches. We might get some cool variants. Probably going to get some titles I find annoying, but I think we all know by now that these videos, it's an okay title. I mean, it's... I'm not going to use it, but it's okay. As we all know, these videos are really an excuse for me to rant about the game. These are a good opportunity. I'll scare them now. No, excuse me. No, that hits too close to home. These videos are really just an excuse for me to rant about the game and you know, express some of my concerns and always do a little update on the state of the game. And today's video will be no different. As we look at this this pixel debris, that looks like an envelope behind her. I think that's supposed to be a brick, but yeah, I don't know. As always, pixels aren't my favorite variants, but hopefully we get a couple cool variants at least, so that I can put them in my collection and never look at them again. never once let anyone ever see them again. You guys better get a good look, because this is the last time you'll see them. Good credits so far, man. I feel like we're opening all our credits right up front. Could use a hug. Okay. I mean, that's a fine title, actually. That's okay. That's like generically interesting enough. So I mean, I guess I did honestly take notes this time about things I wanted to talk about in this video, and the kind of state of Snap update, my rant, if you will, especially because Pokemon Pocket came out this week, and I think that has really shaken things up a little bit in the world of Snap. Now this is a sick, I like this variant a lot. I always really like Joe Mad's art. It's very like, I don't know, I would say like 2000s era comics or something. I don't know, maybe even like late 90s, but very cool. I like the color palette on this one a lot too. This is a sick variant. So Pokemon Pocket came out, obviously by most metrics it looks like it's gonna be a hit. Oh, okay, Pantheon style Baron Mordo. I do typically like the Pantheon style referencing Hades, but this one's missing something for me. I don't know, the arms look kind of weird, face doesn't read especially well. I do like the color palette a lot. I like green and purple. I mean, it's not too bad. So, you know, Pokemon Pocket supposedly already had 30 million downloads, which is a great start, although I will say at least a portion of those are people re-rolling accounts to try to get a better start. I don't know if they've, you know, weeded those accounts out necessarily or not, but they might be a part of it anyway. Wallet Keys Brain Tech Pack. I don't know what a tech pack is referencing in the Marvel world, but probably relevant to some specific character. People might find that a little more interesting. So, you know, Pokemon, dude, we are just getting sick variants. 3 in a row here are actually pretty nice. This Cannonball is really cool. I like how minimal this is and how they really just let it breathe. It's just, you know, kind of blue, mostly silhouette. That looks awesome, dude. I can't talk because you keep getting cool variants. So anyway, Pokemon Pocket came out, seems to have pretty good numbers, seems to be particularly capturing the attention of a lot of Marvel Snap content creators, and I think presumably a lot of Marvel Snap players as well, based on, you know, just like comments I've seen on YouTube. I started a Pokemon Pocket channel. Some of you are watching that over there. It's doing okay, not crazy yet, but I think it's doing pretty solid. Okay start. Not as good as others, but I also haven't committed as hard as others, so that's only fair. Still keeping Marvel Snap my main squeeze here. Krakoan Carpet Crasher. Okay. So anyway, a lot of creators have jumped ship. Some players have jumped ship. Maybe jump ship's not the right phrase quite yet, but checked it out. They've been curious. They've been intrigued. This is a sick Juggernaut too. I really like this color palette a lot. Really satisfying color palette. Yeah. That's actually really cool. I love Juggernaut as a character too. I just love like big muscly dudes. don't clip that. Maximus portrait. Okay. I need to concentrate on this discussion. I'm gonna drive people insane. So a lot of players curious, a lot of content creators are curious, right? And to some extent that's natural. Of course, a new card game comes out, particularly content creators, especially those who are not like at the top of their given game see it as an opportunity to branch out and maybe become the top YouTuber or top streamer in a new game, right? Like, this is how I can grow and find the new audience. If you know, you know. That might be funny with actually some names. That could actually be a pretty clever title to use. So, you know, pretty natural for content creators to look for greener pastures, especially if they're like so for instance, I'm probably at this stage, I think pretty confidently the #1 Marvel Snap YouTuber, right? So for me, it's almost like I'm trying to protect my position, like at the top, and like I want to keep this game healthy because I'm doing really well, and you know that would naturally be my instinct. Although I think I've been very fair to Pokemon Pocket, and I'm enjoying playing it for the record, and made a channel, right? So even me checking it out. Wave Danhip is nice, but you know, a smaller creator is going to be more likely to kind of check things out because they have more room to grow. They can find that top spot. You know, they could increase their audience share, etc. Hate chibis. I think I hate chibi orca even more. Although I feel like I'm getting a lot of variants tonight. Maybe they'll dry up later. So anyway, pretty natural for content creators to leave, but I will say, even in that context, I think content creators have been quicker to jump from Marvel Snap than normal. And when I've seen this in other games in the past, like when Marvel Snap came out for Hearthstone content creators, for instance, they were a lot more defensive of Hearthstone and a lot more defensive of their old game, and not so quick to throw the old game under the bus so much, which I have seen a little bit more in the Marvel Snap world, which might sound judgmental, but it's not. I think it's reasonable, in fact, because I don't know that Marvel Snap has like supported creators all that well, frankly. You know, there are things like Twitch drops, but beyond that, there's just not much going on between like creators and the Marvel Snap team. Like, I don't talk to anyone on the Marvel Snap team. I don't get patch notes early. Like, some people get OTA patch notes early. I don't even get those early. I've talked to a community manager like twice in like 2.5 years, as you know, again, probably the #1 YouTuber in Marvel Snap. It's just, there's just not a lot of like interaction or support or like, you know, initiatives or whatever. For me, it's fine. I don't even really care, you know. Again, I've made it work. We're doing well. The Marvel Snap channel is great. I kind of just get to do my own thing and not worry about it. But I could imagine, particularly as a smaller content creator, like feeling like maybe you don't have a lot of opportunity or resources or help or communication, which some of that sounds nebulous, I know, but I think it does kind of add up over time. And it just, I've seen people expressing that sort of feeling. And it's not just from like a company standpoint, like expecting somebody to give you stuff or whatever, but it's also probably just from a game and content standpoint. Like, we just don't usually have that much going on in Marvel Snap. There's a new card every week, which is great. Like, that is awesome compared to some card games where there's long gaps in content. But as far as like events and like new things to talk about and new things to teach people and videos to make and stuff, for a lot of people, there's just not that much to do. It's again like Twitch drops, and that's kind of it. And the Twitch drops are often now just like, I don't know. And if you're a YouTuber, you don't care about Twitch drops at all. So it's like, for me, there's a, you know, I think the high voltage event was really good, right? That's the sort of thing I wish we had at a much more regular cadence, which thankfully that one was fairly recently. But before that, you know, it was like Deadpool's Diner. Before that, it was God knows what, you know. There's been other things like those unbalanced patches and the like X-Men and Avengers stuff that spiced things up and brought new life to the game a little bit. But I think you need more of that to keep content creators engaged and feel that loyalty, because as it stands right now, there's just not really much that's keeping them on the game. So they're more quick to leave. Now, of course, nobody really cares about content creators. Let's be real. Like, we're all just mooches, right? We're all just mooches. What we actually care about is players. And I think Marvel Snap has had the same sort of loyalty issue, more importantly with players. Like, players who leave Marvel Snap for Pokemon Pocket, there's just a lot of players who are sort of disillusioned, I think, with Marvel Snaps, particularly the progression and card unlock systems. That is a sick Bucky Barnes. I actually love the bow tie. That's really cool. I've liked all these Noir variants pretty well. Kind of want to make a deck of like Noir cards, although I'm sure they don't go together that well. So, you know, players just feel burned by the lack of cards. Like, there's, like I said, there's new cards every week. That's a great fun cadence for new content in Marvel Snap, but not if you can't unlock the cards. If you can only get 1 or 2 cards. Oh, you know what? This is actually a pretty good baby variant. You got like the Kirby Crackle dots in the background, super high contrast. Surfer actually takes well to it. That's probably my favorite baby variant. That's pretty cool. And we're getting a ton of variants tonight, by the way. So anyway, right, like the one sort of content initiative in Marvel Snap that's good for players, a lot of people don't even really keep up with anyway, because it's hard to get new cards, it's frustrating, spotlight caches. I mean, we've talked about this 1,000 times, right? I don't need to harp on progression and monetization of Marvel Snap. We know how frustrating it's been for so many people for so long, particularly new players trying to catch up and returning players coming back. I've talked about those pain points, I think, the last time we did this, just how hard that can be. And that's a big problem when you have people who break away the game to go check out something like Pokemon Pocket. They become returning players. If they like leave for a month or two, it's going to be hard to re-engage those people. So I think Snap might, in essence, be feeling the pressure from Pokemon Pocket. If not already, then certainly soon. Just because, you know, it's a big new name, it's a big new IP, it's a card game. A lot of people have said they aren't in the same space, they aren't competing. I just don't agree with that. Like, you know, of course they do some things differently, but they're both kind of collectible focused 5-minute-esque card games based on very popular properties. I think they have a lot of overlap, and they will definitely attract different people. Like, I maintain Marvel Snap's gameplay is notably superior to me. Pokemon Pocket's still fun, dude. It's really fun to open cards. It's still fun to play games. It's going to lure people in, and some of them are going to stick. Some of them might not stick, but it was still an excuse to pull them away from Marvel Snap. And once you've made that detachment, once people are out of that system, that seal is broken in essence, they may be gone for good. Even if they leave Pokemon Pocket, they may just be out of that ecosystem, and it's really hard to get back in because you feel like you're too far behind on cards. You feel like you've missed out on missions and resources and stuff. So it's just like this friction and mental hurdle to get back into a game once you've left. So I was honestly kind of sad. I don't hate this Killmonger. It's okay. Kind of generic looking, but okay. I was kind of sad to see that Marvel Snap didn't have more stuff lined up to go toe-to-toe with Pokemon Pocket. Because frankly, Pokemon Pocket right now, you know, bursting at the seams with like events and free stuff in the game, and like, you know, of course it's new. Obviously they're going to have a lot of stuff lined up when the game is new. It may not always be that way, but at the same time, it's really exciting right now. And a lot of people are falling into love with all this stuff and all this event cadence and content cadence, particularly content creators who tend to lure people over with them. You know, they kind of bring players with them as they go. I was kind of sad to see that Snap didn't have something to go head to head with Pokemon Pocket, because right now we're in a lull for the game. It's like nothing is going on in Marvel Snap. I mean, it's an okay month for cards, I think. Some of them are pretty cool and exciting, but there's no like events or anything lined up. So, and they announced that like some of the OTAs and stuff are going to be delayed for the holidays, like Thanksgiving holiday, and then we've got Christmas as well. So I don't think for the next couple months we should really expect much of anything to really liven up Marvel Snap, which, you know, of course I'm not going to judge anybody for taking holidays and taking time off. Like, obviously it's great to have a nice, you know, work-life balance and stuff. That's rare, too rare in the games industry in particular. But at the same time, it does feel like, you know, could you have scheduled something ahead? Could you have had some foresight on this and planned it? Maybe not at the speed at which they work, but I don't know, man. It might have been nice anyway to have something in the 10 loaded up to kind of get people's attention, or, you know, just hit a button that gives everybody some free cards. Like, here's 3 free cards, man. Don't leave us. Don't go to Pokemon Pocket, right? It might need sort of dire responses, or you could really feel the pinch down the road, right? Even if you don't see it right away in a month or two, what does that look like necessarily? So, I don't know, man. I guess it just feels like lost opportunity to like really the last couple of years have had a lost opportunity to build loyalty and trust and real attachment to Marvel Snap. I think a lot of people just felt like they were already on the precipice, a little frustrated here and there. And by the way, like, these feelings may not exist for you because you're here watching this, right? Like, they may exist a little, but a lot of you may say, oh, I'm totally happy. Awesome, I'm glad. I wouldn't say I'm totally happy, but I'm also enjoying the game a lot. This is our second Orca variant. Cool, okay. I've used this water a lot in thumbnails, but never really encountered this variant, I don't think. Just keep in mind that, like, the fact that you're here watching this is sort of an indication that maybe you're not part of this audience, but that doesn't mean this audience doesn't exist. You know, your feelings might be different, and again, I'm happy for that. That's awesome for me. The more happy Marvel Snap players are, frankly, the better for me. Love the Jim Lee mystique. That's sick. We are getting a ton of variants tonight. We're on our last reserve as well. Okay, sweet. Boop. 100 just like that, man. Okay, also we moved up on the Jim Lee X-Men. Oh, sick. I got 2,000 tokens. Let's freaking go. A third of a card, man. Yeah, nice. I love it, dude. I feel like I opened the Jim Lee variant earlier that's not here. I guess it wasn't an X-Men. I think it was Psylocke though. She's an X-Men, right? Was that in this opening, or was that before this? I can't remember. I don't know. Anyway, that's that. We'll take a look at our variants here in a minute. I just want to finish some of these thoughts I was running through. I guess just on that loyalty point, right? Like, all of that time to build all this loyalty and attachment and appreciation and trust, it wasn't there. And now that there's finally a competitor, is it going to be too late to get that back? You know, are people just going to leave and never come back? That's my concern, right? That's my fear. I feel like there were chances to get creators more locked in and a chance to get players more locked into Marvel Snap than was taken. So does that mean the game is dead or something? No, of course not. Like, I think Marvel Snap has plenty of player base to lose a chunk and still be a healthy game. Same for my channel, right? Like, frankly, my views could cut in half and I'd still be happy and be able to maintain a channel quite successfully. That said, you know, I'm also playing Pokemon Pocket. I'm having fun. I'm making cool videos. I'm playing fun decks. So even me, you know, I'm like hedging my bet a little bit. Like, yeah, I'm still invested in Marvel Snap. Yeah, I still want the game to succeed. I love it. The gameplay is so freaking fun to me. Like, it's the one I like playing the most. But, you know, at the same time, can you trust the stewardship of the game for the next, like, 5+ years as a content creator when you're thinking about that sort of thing, right? Like, Hearthstone, I've been making videos for 9 years, and I still make Hearthstone videos today, less than I used to, of course, but still, I think I could run a successful full-time Hearthstone channel today after 9 years, because even though they don't do everything I love either, you know, it's the game has been taken care of for 9 years, and the audience has been taken care of. And frankly, compared to Marvel Snap and both Pokemon Pocket, the monetization ecosystem in Hearthstone feels a lot better too these days, I think, with like duplicate protection and just a lot of different cards given away and stuff. So, you know, they have earned a lot of loyalty over the years. Is Marvel Snap going to have that same kind of time span with players feeling less loyal to the game? I don't know. I hope so. You know, I hope so. It would be great. It would be awesome for me, both as a player and as a YouTuber. But it would be irresponsible for me not to also look at Pokemon Pocket and think about the future, right? And see where that goes. So again, I'm not like switching games or anything. I'm just going to play both and be happy. And I think a lot of players might play both and be happy, but I also recognize that it's hard to commit to 2 card games. A lot of people on Twitter will say things like, you know, why can't you play both card games? And for some people that is feasible, of course, right? But other people, they want to be fully invested and committed and like both financially and from a time standpoint, maximize their experience within each. And some people just don't have time to do that. They've got lives, and you know, their card games are an hour here, an hour there. You can't split that in half and still have a good time in both necessarily, or cut your money commitment in half and have a good time in both necessarily. So I understand the kind of urge to pick one, and I understand the urge to sort of defend one as well, because a lot of people get defensive of the card game that is the one that's like the old one versus the one that's the new one, and they kind of lash out and stuff. So there's this sort of butting of heads even among creators and certainly players I see on Twitter and YouTube comments and stuff too. So I obviously want them to live a happy coexistence, and I hope Pokemon Pocket succeeds, because for me it's good to have the pressure on Marvel Snap. Like it hopefully makes Marvel Snap react and improve the game and improve progression and improve monetization, right? This is the first real like threat I think they felt since Marvel Snap's release. Again, I don't know if they're actually feeling it, but from our, you know, what we can see and what we think they should feel anyway, it feels like the first real threat probably since release, and maybe that will make them get things into gear and improve some of these pain points that so many different players feel. So that would be good. But also, as a creator, it's just nice for me to have my, you know, my hands in different buckets just to protect my career and livelihood over a longer period and so on. So yeah, I don't know. That was it, man. I guess I'm frustrated by the stewardship of Marvel Snap in a lot of ways. I feel like there were so much time and so many moments and opportunities to really shore things up with players, and instead they've often chipped away at the loyalty and trust of players with little things here, little things there. Most recently was the like compensation for the gold and the split rates and stuff. I'm so bad at explaining this. You guys probably know what the heck I'm talking about. But people who were upgrading to get like gold and ink splits, the rates were not as advertised and they changed, and bunch of people spent a bunch of resources upgrading their cards hoping to get like golden splits and ink splits or crackles or whatever, and they didn't. And then Marvel Snap was like, yeah, okay, here's a variant, and a lot of people were hoping to get, you know, more compensation, which this is so out of my wheelhouse. I don't really know the details. I don't know if they're right to be mad or not, but I do know that a lot of people are mad, and you know, that was another opportunity. Like those little instances just keep popping up time and time and time again, and whittles away trust and whittles away good faith in the game a little bit. And then you have a big competitor come along, and those people who've been worn down are like, okay, yeah, man, I am gonna check out Pokemon Pocket. Oh, I am gonna spend $50 opening packs. Oh, I am playing this game now. And Marvel Snap's just left sitting. So anyway, that's my thought. I'm curious what you guys think about all that. I perhaps dangerous to frame it as like a Pocket versus Snap thing, which I don't really want to do that so much. It's really more like, has Snap done enough to keep players happy and engaged and loyal to Snap, so that when these new competitors do pop up, people don't have this urge to you know, look over and like, Pokemon Pocket, eh? That's really what I want to talk about. Like, has Marvel Snap done enough for you to feel engaged in the game? So anyway, let's go through these variants and rate these from 1 to 5 stars. This is a 2-star variant. Not totally in love with this pixel. I think it's weird how this like muffler from a car or end of a vacuum or whatever it is right on her arm. Just a weird little tangent there. Taskmaster, this is sick. This is 5 stars for me. I love Joe Mad, love the color palette, love the kind of almost watercolory look to it. Baron Mordo, this just looks weird to me. This looks clunky and awkward. I'm gonna say 2 stars. I mean, I like a lot about this in theory, but the actual execution's just odd. This Cannonball's sick. This 5 stars. This looks really cool. Like that a lot. Sunspot pixel, it's okay, I guess. Doesn't even really look that good. Small on my other screen. Background's just really boring. I'm gonna say 2 stars again. I mean, it's kind of better than Debris though. Maybe Debris is 1 star. This Juggernaut variant, 5 stars. Love the color palette. Love the feel of it. Really cool. Wave Dan Hip, it's 3, I guess. I see this one a lot. Maybe I'm just sick of it. I feel like people run this one a ton. It's like, this is mostly what I see when I see Wave. Orca Chibi, 1 star, -1. I hate it. I just hate these Chibis so much. So weird to me. Bucky Noir, like torn between 4 and 5. I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. It's not the most interesting character, right? It does really fit the noir setting, but just a bow tie and a gun is not like the thing. I like how the bow tie kind of calls his star on his arm. You know, like that's nice. It's not, you know, exactly the same shape, but that splash of red in a similar like triangle shape is cool. This is actually a pretty sick baby. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. That's rare for me, but I like it. Darkhawk pixel, maybe 3. Kind of looks okay from far away. Yeah, I'm gonna go 3 on that. Killmonger 3099, 3. Looks okay, maybe a little generic, but Chibi Valkyrie, it's better than the other one. I like some of the background. Her sword looks cool. It's kind of a fun pose. I'll go 2 stars on that, but I mostly hate Chibis. Sports Orca, you can't even really tell this is sports. You can barely see the little ropes in the pool and kind of the idea that he's in a big pool complex. I'll say 3. Looks okay to me. Jim Lee Mystique, man, that's pretty cool. I really like Jim Lee vintage feel. I'm gonna say 5 actually. I really like the Jim Lee Mystique. So pretty good set of variants, man. Taskmaster, Juggernaut, Cannonball, Mystique, all standouts. Some pretty solid filler ones. Couple bad Chibis, couple bad pixels, but that's sort of to be expected. More importantly, we got those 2,000 extra tokens. I started at 4,200 tokens and I'm at 8,500 now. So that's pretty good. I can now buy another card, which is nice. I also have 21 spotlight caches. This has been climbing for me because I've been getting crazy lucky. I've been hitting first hit cards like maybe 5 of the last 6 weeks, and I think that other one was a 2-hit. I've been on a crazy stretch, so I'm dreading when my luck turns around and I have to open 4 every time. Although I wouldn't have minded these variants. These both look pretty cool, actually. All right, anyway, guys, that's it. That's the video. I opened 100 reserves. I talked a lot about Marvel Snap, and I'm curious what you guys think. So share those thoughts down below. Thanks, as always, for watching, and I guess I will see you around.